All right, here with Sean Bormet, our first 5 questions of the school year. We're a month and a half in. Lots of training to this point. What does that look like from, I guess it never really stops, but what does it look like from the beginning of the school year to now?
Team 103 getting ready to win. Off to a great start. We got a little bit of a younger team. I think it's a nice blend of, a few veteran guys, but predominantly a much younger team than we've had in the last several years. So just the energy, the enthusiasm, the excitement from these guys have been outstanding. We've had about 6 weeks of preseason, conditioning, strength training, mat work, skill work. Tomorrow is actually our first day of official start date of the season, and starting with a big house workout at 6:30 a.m. So we're getting the guys excited and pumped up for that. But it's pretty much been 6 weeks of just great attitudes and really, really solid, committed, hard work.
All right, when you have a younger team like that, is that fun? You get in there and do a little more instruction, a little more hands-on?
Yeah, obviously we've been working a lot on some of the core areas which younger guys, sometimes have to shore up when they get here. We've done a lot, obviously, with, from hand fighting standpoint and setups to, a lot of work. We're starting to do a lot of work on the mat, just top, bottom, dealing with leg riding. So just a lot of stuff that, early on when guys are first getting here, the first year or two of college, it's sort of a bigger adjustment, for even some of the best kids, because they didn't get taken down a lot, and they surely didn't get ridden a lot. And, so these have been really fun areas, but it's a group of young guys that they're excited and eager to learn. And they really have been putting a big emphasis on, in our live wrestling, just really trying to implement this stuff, which really helps accelerate their development when they actually aren't afraid and are not holding back in the practice minutes of implementing this technique. So that's sort of been a lot of fun to watch. Sort of a high scoring mentality group, especially with some of these young guys. So that's also been a ton of fun. But overall, it's just been a great first 6 weeks.
So I want to touch on the newcomers a little bit. So let's start with the freshmen. We got 6 of them, kind of ranging from California to New York and Oklahoma and the Midwest. So what do you like about that group right now?
The consistency I've seen out of this group. I mean, I think you always get a freshman class that comes in there so excited to be here, and they're so excited to start getting into the practice room. So much so that on the move-in day, sometimes they're trying to get in here and get on the mat and just sort of feel everything, and that's always exciting. But this group, it's 6 guys they just have a tremendous work ethic and they feed off each other. But the consistency with just the effort, the energy, and the intensity that they're bringing to the workouts has been spectacular, and I see them just sort of feeding off that. They're all very competitive. Some of them we have 2 guys that have siblings on the team. We have 1 freshman whose father was a teammate of mine, so there's some familiarity with the program, but just an overwhelming, I'd say, an abundance of pride to be here and pride in the hard work they're doing.
And then 2 grad transfers, Chase Saldate, Jacob Cardenas. Both of them were here for a good part of the summer. So what have they kind of brought to the table and brought to the program?
Both great additions, huge assets in the room from a work ethic standpoint, their style of wrestling, personalities, just great personalities. Guys on the team, sort of put their arms around them right away because they're just really great guys, and a lot of fun to be around, and just hardworking guys. So they've been on different training plans. Chase has been here most of the summer, just really working and concentrating on folk style, and now he's really dialing in his weight, which we're helping him just put a lot more resources around him so he can do this really well. Jacob Cardenas has been on a little different plan because he actually made the U23 United States World Team, so he's getting ready to compete in the World Championships over in Albania. Basically, it's about a week and a half, 2 weeks out at this point. So he's sort of been on a peaking phase with his freestyle training to prepare and go try to win a gold medal for the United States here in a couple weeks. Once he gets back from that, we'll give him a little time to just sort of deload and sort of recharge, and then we'll get him into the mix with the folk style plans and the folk style training, and really sort of inject it with the team. But both just big assets to the wrestling room.
All right, we're less than a month out. You mentioned, first official practice is tomorrow. That's the start of the 20-hour week. So what does that look like as you kind of shift towards, this final stretch before the season starts?
So we'll lower a little bit. In the beginning, we'll start to lower the volume of lifting and running and conditioning that we're doing. Slowly start to downshift that, increase some wrestling minutes, sort of really continue to build some live wrestling volume. Really just continue to work some skills throughout the month of October. But that shift to more live wrestling minutes will start to take place, and and then we'll get down to probably like 2 main lifts. Some guys will have a third lift. And then we'll start also doing a lot more matches in the practice room. We'll start to get to where we're doing, in those live wrestling minutes, we'll start to increase some of the volume of actually matches and get these guys competing a little more. In some of these workouts, we'll start to get into ranking matches, towards the end of October. And then, really we're right around the corner from our first open tournament, which is on the first weekend of November. So it's going to be here before we know it. The guys are feeling it, and the guys are putting the work in.
All right, Sean, thank you. Looking forward to another season. Go Blue.
Go Blue.